This is an ABC News election update. Now reporting, David Muir.
Good morning. It's now 5:35 here in the East. We are allowing all of our stations across the country to join us now with the breaking news. We are projecting at this hour the 47th President of the United States, Donald Trump, will be elected to return to the White House. Not consecutive terms. We mentioned a moment ago as we were on our air with our coverage, the first since Grover Cleveland to serve non-consecutive presidential terms. Donald Trump returning to the White House as the 47th President of the United States. He does so with Wisconsin now in his win column. Of course, there are a number of states on the map that still look pretty favorable for Donald Trump tonight, but Wisconsin was the state that put him over the map, getting him to 279 at this point, to Kamala Harris's 219 electoral votes. I'm going to quickly rejoin the team here so that the entire network can hear a little bit of what our early analysis. And John, as you and I have been saying all night long, this is an extraordinary political comeback. You say we've never seen anything like it.
Look, the greatest political comeback in American history, and a victory unlike any that Donald Trump has ever seen, because not only does he win what appears to be a decisive electoral college victory, it seems like he is on the verge of winning the popular vote as well. So he comes back to the White House. Remarkable when you consider the way he left the White House in January of 2021. He comes back to the White House with a mandate. The majority of the American people, it seems, ultimately, when all the votes are counted, will be saying they want Donald Trump to be president. Now, that said, David, he faces the challenge of uniting a deeply divided country. And the nearly half the country that voted against him, many of them see him as not somebody that they simply didn't want in the White House, but see him as a threat. So now the question is, how does he convince those people that he can be a president for all Americans, including those who didn't vote for him?
One of the central questions moving forward, you're absolutely right, John. One of the questions in looking back, and there will be many of them, come for this White House. Mary Bruce, you've covered the White House now, the Biden-Harris administration. A lot of people are going to be looking to President Biden, his decision to bow out after that horrible debate performance in June, whether or not that was a decision that should have been made earlier, that would have perhaps given the Democratic Party more time to do some sort of primary. Or would have given Kamala Harris more time. However it turned out, or whoever the Democratic Party chose or people voted for, perhaps that would have given them more than 107 days, which is all she had to introduce herself as a candidate at the top of the ticket.
There's certainly going to be a lot of discussions and deep soul searching, I think, within the Democratic Party about how this all unfolded, and a lot of deep questions for the president about the way he went out of this race, the timing of this. Could the outcome have been different if Democrats had had time for a primary, for instance? But Kamala Harris, in those 107 days, really cast herself as the change candidate. That is hard to do when you are the sitting vice president. And when you look back at how things could have been different, I think we have been discussing this all night long and into the wee hours here. The fact that she wasn't able to really differentiate herself enough from the president to say to Americans who are suffering economically that what she would do differently, and to really put a fine point on that, I think it is going to go down as one of the biggest errors in this campaign.
And will define the Biden presidency to a large part. Yes. And President Biden, for the longest time, thought he was best positioned to keep Donald Trump returning to the White House. That's a calculation they'll all have to look back on.